Courtney and I had been watching the surplus from back 2020, and we just kept noticing, this growing surplus. And we it's always at the end of the year, and you're thinking through of what we're going to do in the new year. And we were like, wow, it'd be really cool to give away $1 million.
We just started dreaming a little bit and thinking, how could we really make an impact not only on nonprofits, but our employees as well, because we really wanted them to be a part of the process.
Then we were like, well, we have to bring on our board, and we got together and we started to talk about this surplus and this idea of giving away $1 million. And someone in that meeting, and I'm not going to be able to give the credit, it might have been Courtney, it might have been Katie, someone had mentioned utilizing our employee resource group, because it goes back just like community grants. Like Scott and I never have wanted to give away the money as our money, because it's not. It's the company's money. It's the company's funds. It's what our employees have done and created to allow us to have this opportunity to give back.
And then I think it was actually Katie Wiley who said, why don't we involve the core groups and let them kind of take ownership of this first part? After we walked away from that meeting, we were super excited that we were going to be able to give away what we thought was going to be $1 million in one day.
So I think it's about that time, you guys. You ready to give some money away?
Originally, if we go way back, I get approached a lot, and Scott and I both get approached by different organizations in the community that want money and need money, and we get asked for major gifts. And so I was like, well, we could do, places that come to us directly, but then someone was like, wait, we need to, keep it back to our roots, keep it back to what we do. And that's, again, where the employee resource group came in.
Thank you all for inviting Dream Alive to be a part of this.
We all got on a call and we were able to present kind of, our take on each of our charities. So I was able to speak to Dream Alive and, what it would mean for them to be able to receive that, what at the time we thought was $100,000.
It was just another opportunity to tell our story and to share with like-minded folks our vision and, the rationale behind what we do.
Then from there, the core groups voted, and it was truly a vote. There were some that were very close.
When we heard that, we'd kind of made it through that phase of the process, it was a great, vote of confidence.
Once we made it to the finals, and I forget how many people were necessarily in the finals. I think that's where I remember the most of where it really got into details. I think before those two phases, I didn't actually know if Dream Alive had a shot for anything, to be honest.
Let's give it up for these people one more time.
Scott took the time and he met with the executive director of all 7 organizations and ran them through. They had about half an hour, maybe a little bit longer with him for him to explain the VTO, and then they all filled it out. So we kind of had a common thread between all of them that allowed us to look at what their long-term plans are, where they're going to be going in the next year, and where our money would really make a big impact.
It was honestly, to me, fun to share. Hey, this is the challenge. This is how I think that we're gonna hit this challenge. This is how we've done it before. This is how we've done it with less before. So this is how we would do it with $100,000.
One common thing that we heard from all of them was a need for transportation. Their needs all looked different, but they needed help with transportation, as a lot of nonprofit organizations do. So we were like, okay, let's take a look and figure out a different way to divide that. At this point, we knew we were giving away more than $100,000, but we as the committee, and we were not telling a soul.
There were moments where we were a little bit concerned that the secret was going to leak internally, because we wanted it to be a surprise for everyone.
We decided we were going to tell that the mega grant was a $100,000 grant at that point.
As I walked alongside these nonprofits, I could see their excitement, but at the same time, they were nervous because it's a lot of work to put into a grant application of this magnitude and then not to get anything.
You know, I thought we had a chance, but not. I certainly didn't think that we would win. Even afterwards, being encouraged to bring the team and seeing that everybody's bringing their team and everybody's doing it, you know, I kind of thought, oh, it's just a fun thing, like it's gonna be great. I know, you know, everybody will probably get something, but to me it's like something's like $1,000, like, which is great, but not, you know, the whole Oprah thing.
It was just such a wonderful chemistry around the process, and even down to the day we were at the meeting with all of your team, you know, the chemistry in the air, the energy and stuff, it gave us a really good jolt of a sense of affirmation and self-confidence that, you know, we were doing something well. And so just a great experience.
When I woke up that morning, I was really excited. I could not wait for that day to happen. I remember walking back to the hotel from the hotel where we were staying and just thinking, oh my gosh, we're gonna change lives today. And they're not gonna believe it. I wanna be able to see everyone's faces.
You know, we really started with the entire program agenda for the entire day with this and the time that it was gonna be, bringing it back to Indiana and bringing the music theme of the entire event into it with someone like MC Supernatural. That really started what we called the show within a show.
Now get a load of me. Now I love to rock it off the top. It's the Supernat.
And we brought up who we called the good girls, which is Julie, Courtney, and Lisa.
And we wanted to go back and talk about the history of kind of our giving and what that looked like and how we got to the point where, you know, we were giving to what people cared about that worked for our company, and just the importance of the family being not the Moorheads, but Round Room.
They got to have a really cool moment of telling that story, that Round Room Gives story, and then all while in back of house, backstage, you know, we're very quietly getting those nonprofits ready to walk out. I remember handing the first check to Melina, so the representative for Ben's Ranch. And I handed it to her facing her, but where nobody else could see it. And you could see the like emotion kind of shock and wash over. And then there was almost a, oh God, nobody else. Like it's this one and everybody else is about to get something smaller.
We were excited and they were like, well, don't look at him, don't look at him. And we're just standing there and they're talking and talking, but we couldn't really hear, we couldn't really see what was going on because we were behind the stage. And they were like, okay, you guys can look at the check. So we looked at him and we were just like shocked.
I had the honor of being able to step back and just watch that emotion flood over everybody in a private setting. It wasn't on stage, wasn't filmed, there's no footage of it. Like that's our culture. That is the mega grant. And then they had to pull themselves together and practice a poker face. You know, I'm coaching each of them right before you have to pull it together. You have to hold a straight face. You have to just stand there. You know what's going to happen, but you have to be a part of the show now. I remember even as they were walking out, one of them had the check flipped the wrong direction, so we had to grab them and fix that check before they walked out.
Each step along the way towards being led on stage felt like it could be a walk to a very special day, or it could be a walk to the firing squad or whatever. So then we led up on stage and I don't know, Julie or somebody, Courtney was talking and...
The first surprise, of course, is the transportation. I love Oprah, and I'm sure you remember Oprah's iconic moment where she gave everyone in the audience a car, and let's give everyone a car. Like I've always wanted to say, you get a car.
You know, Julie started saying, you get a car, you get a car. I was like, oh wow, what's going on? I think we're getting a vehicle.
So I think it was like $60,000, you know, to buy whatever vehicle they needed to help get transportation, because they had said this on stage is one of the main issues with most of the charities that they had interviewed is everybody had transportation issues, you know, getting kids here, you know, getting caretakers there, you know, getting places, you know, people moving around, so they needed a vehicle.
It's so very encouraging that y'all saw that need everywhere, because that's another huge barrier. When we take our kids home, we need to take our kids here, I mean, everywhere. I mean, so that's huge.
So then it felt like there was still this one person that was going to get $100,000, but everyone was a winner.
Then you could sense kind of shuffle behind us as the team, your team brought these checks out, and you know, but there was a lot more emotion, a lot more activity going on with these behind us than would be the case for a single award winner, right? So, you know, we were trying to focus on the message and, you know, look out in the crowd, but here's some excitement coming, you know, something's happening that's not on the script, right?
So they wanted us to hold the check behind them, and then, you know, Julie made the announcement.
And then everyone stood up and showed their big checks. And all of them were $100,000.
I remember being told to turn around and like seeing $100,000. I was like, oh my gosh, like we all won. Like, this is exciting.
Everyone was going crazy, and it was just such a cool experience. The nonprofits, of course, were already elated because they won something, and then to get that, like, the emotions were high, people were crying.
I never forget the love and the expressions of true, you know, appreciation and excitement between employees of the company and the charities there.
It's so much for these organizations, which is exactly what we wanted to do, because all we asked them to plan for was $100,000.
I had no idea Scott was going to take the mic and go a step further.
This was so exciting. We were all so happy. Couldn't get any better. And then Scott's like, well, wait a minute.
There's one more thing.
He's like, well, we have one more surprise. We actually do have a mega grant.
Then I got nervous. I'm like, wait, somebody's going to win. Like, this is crazy.
The rest of the surplus has got to go. So we got to give it away. You know what? We're going to give away the mega grant, and the mega grant is $580,000 more dollars.
Scott says that, and he says the number first, and that distracted me because I'm like, holy crap, that's our budget for the year. Like, that's exactly what we need to run Dream Alive. And I remember having the thought, I was like, oh wait, like they lined us up. I'm gonna, like, how many nonprofits are here? Who's standing in the middle? So I looked to my left, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I looked to my right, and then I remember Scott like didn't do any intro. He just said Dream Alive.
And the mega grant goes to Dream Alive.
And I mean, just like goosebumps. I have goosebumps even telling it. It's so exciting. Everyone goes crazy.
I was so excited, and the cold sparks were going, and we were all crying.
Cannons go off, and we're just all shocked. You know, I think Eric is just shocked, and you know, he turns around and hugs me, and Courtney's coming over, and Lisa's there, and Scott and Julie, and it's just, we're all crying. Everybody's crying.
I know I dropped everything that I was holding, and I know my jaw dropped before. I imagine that's what winning the Super Bowl is like. And the first thing he said to me was, you can serve all of IPS. And I remember telling him, thank you. Like, we can do this now. I was blown away. I was so grateful, so humbled, so excited for Dream Alive that somebody would believe in what we do. Like, somebody would believe in us that much to do that and to make that significant of an impact to us and set us on a completely different trajectory of impact. I mean, it's just awesome. It was just awesome.
To be part of it was, you know, kind of the bonus, but it was It was a multi-part day of each piece being even more and more exciting and outrageous.
To watch what happened after that was like the best, because the snowball effect of giving and knowing that you're helping validate an organization that is amazing, because we truly believe all 7 are completely amazing, and seeing what they've been able to do since is it's just really cool. It's awesome.
Immediately, the Lilly Endowment follows. A couple months later, the MBA Foundation does the same thing over 2 years. A couple other companies jumped on board too, and so within 2 or 3 months, we had our entire budget that we needed for this year to launch these schools.
It allowed us to begin moving pretty aggressively on some initiatives that we had hoped for and planned for. New program rollout, new interaction with schools, the ability to secure this new facility. I think also it gave our board and our stakeholders and other supporters and volunteers a sense that they're investing their time and energy in something that has value. It really served as an imprimatur, if you will, or an endorsement. So that's hard to translate real specifically, but I think for us, it legitimized us in a way, put us in a position now where we can act on some of our goals and hopes.
It's amazing. I mean, yeah, I can't say enough about how impactful it is and still is for our organization. Just the trajectory, the awareness of impact, the credibility. I mean, it's been phenomenal.
I knew it was going to be a really special day, but it ended up just blowing my mind, and the emotions that everyone had, and being able to do a really big impact, like $10,000, we think, that's a good impact. We're gonna get something accomplished with $10,000. But $100,000 is life-changing for these organizations.
Being able to pursue our plan of impact and serve, we're talking all of Center Township, Indianapolis, all those youth, being able to offer that, it's incredible.
I think we really pulled off a great surprise. And yeah, we walked out in finance afterwards, was like, wait, what? We're like, we know it's there. You guys are gonna have to distribute all these checks.
It was more than just the event. It was this real life, tangible example of a culture that is just hard to describe.
Getting to know these people that are a part of the nonprofits and seeing the reaction to winning this money or receiving this money was something I will never forget.
It's been above my dreams. I never could have ever imagined. Not only the grant, but just the impact of it afterwards. Just unbelievable.